Hey, welcome back everyone to another episode of NJH Beats YouTube channel. Hope you're doing well from wherever you are tuning in the world. So in today's episode, I wanted to do kind of like a beat breakdown for a beat that I made yesterday, which I posted on social media yesterday. It's something that is quite new to me, what I've done in this, and that is layer my own composition on top of samples so that everything is in the same key. And I just want to kind of just explain a little bit how I did it, and I think it'll be kind of useful for you guys as well, for those who don't know this already. It's probably something very simple that people do all the time. I'm sure that is true, and well, I know it's true, but it's just something that I have started doing. It's not something that I looked up. It's not something that I researched. It's just something that I started doing. I just did it when I was making this beat, and it worked out. I really don't know that much music theory, but whatever I did, it worked. And so I just want to kind of bring you through that process with me in this episode. So let's get into it. Okay, so this is the sample that I used. I actually used very, very little of this sample. Yeah, so I'll just let you listen to this just a little bit. I used no more than that much of the sample. I'll just let you listen to that again. And so once I recorded that and I pulled that into FL Studio, I pulled it into Serato. I actually tuned it down to E minor. It was in F minor. Those are all of the chops though. It's literally 4, and maybe I didn't even use all of those. So first chop is this. Whoops. First chop is this one. So as you can see, once I've brought it into Serato, it brings it to the tempo of my project, which is 84, and that has slowed it right down. And you can hear it on this bit here, on the end bit, it's got that little that rise, which makes it sound quite cool. And there's also a little bit of bass in there, which I will go into later with the bass. It's sort of it coincides with the other bass that I'm using, and it actually sounds really good. The other sample that I used was actually for the bass and the drums, and that's this one right here. And I also chopped up another little bit of that without the bass to go in other parts of the beat over here. But anyway, together those sound like this. And you'll hear what I mean about those two basses coming together. It's got that doo-doo, you know what I mean? So those come together really nice. I layered those with my own drums. For another sample that I used, it was actually from a cymatics kit. And I reckon that sounds real super dope. So I didn't actually use a lot of it. What I did was I played like the first bit, like you can hear that, like this. I literally played this much of it, and I'll let you hear that bit there on its own. And then at the very end, it plays the rest of it, the rest of the cut. And all together, with my drums, with the other samples and everything, I added some like hi-hats in there as well. All together, I put a drum fill in there as well. Sounds like this. So yeah, I think that everything came together really well in this one, for that hook, you know. But let's go ahead and go over to the verse section, where I explain to you guys how I actually what I did. Okay, let me just okay. It comes out of the hook. It's got a drum fill here going into the verse. Okay, so basically I changed up that original sample to play only sometimes. So it's got more of that rise in there at the end, and just a lot of it's been cut out. It's just a stock VST called Flex in FL Studio, right? I went to Essential Pianos. I picked Staged Grand. I tried to just use something that sounded something like the sample. And then basically I just used my ear to figure out what was being played in the sample. So I went up to here, I went into helpers, I went to scale highlighting. I selected E and then minor melodic. I don't know if that's the right one, but that's the one I chose because there's heaps of other minors. Maybe that one was the right one to do, I don't know, but I chose minor melodic. And then I just put everything on the white keys. If you can see that, I'm sure you can. You know what I'm talking about. The ones that are highlighted. All the notes that I've used are on those ones. And after that, I just drew in some chords, some sustained chords. And then I put in some top notes and some other notes in here, scattered in here, to make like a little bit of a melody through the verse, and let my creativity go a little bit. Had some fun with it, and then we came out with the verse. I melded the sample and an original composition together. This, like as I said, this is my first time doing it. And I'll build off of this example in other beats to make it better. But that's what I wanted to show you, basically, like how I put them together, because I have never really done it before, and it was just like something that it's just clicked in my head, and I was like, you know what, like just put them together. There's such little sample to play with. I wanted to just sort of add to it, and that's what I came up with. So hope this gives you guys some value. I'm NJH Beats. Until next time, peace.